Tag Show.
The Mix Tag Show.
With Jenna.
And blue.
Damn.
Now, here's your host,
Jenna and Blue Magic.
Yeah, it's the Mix Tag Show with Jenna and
Blue. Hi.
hey,
How are you?
I'm okay with your awkwardness and always doing extra stuff.
What was extra about it? I'm just doing what we do every week. Apparently, that's our thing. That's our shtick. That's our, our go-to. How was your weekend? I know it was pretty eventful.
It was fun. I had an amazing
Look at that
time.
smile
I
on
was
your face.
all in. Part of amazing history.
Yes.
It was such just
A
being there.
historic event.
Just being there was just like goosebumps.
You got goosebumps?
This is the best event I've ever been to.
Really?
Yes.
Even better than Takeover?
Yes.
Interesting.
Yes.
Okay.
Well, we'll get into it.
Because Takeovers are pretty
Yeah,
dope.
they up there, but this just had a certain buzz to it from the start.
Okay. Well, yeah, like you said, we'll get into it.
Yeah, we get to it. How about you? How was your weekend?
Well, my consolation prize is those of you that follow me at Miss Jenna Baby, BAYBE.
Oh, starting early.
Starting real early. I went to the Drake and Migos concert.
How was that?
It was cool. Got to see Drake. Drake is one of my my current favorite rappers. So that was, and I had like front row. So it was like right there. Like
he was
this was
litty.
like Drake is here, right here. I'm here.
So he was litty.
Yeah,
Did Shiggy come out?
he did actually.
Shiggy came out, right?
He sure did. He was doing his little dance and whatever, but it was cool. So
Living life right now.
yeah, low key. You know who else is living life?
Oh.
The WWE shop, huh?
Yeah?
Huh?
Huh?
Get out of here. On that note, head on over to the WWE shop. Use our link that's provided on our YouTube page. Have you been putting it on the YouTube page? No.
Yes.
The last episode has it?
Yes.
You sure?
Yes.
Okay. Head on over to our YouTube page. Click the link there. Help us get some coins. If you don't watch us on YouTube and you're more of like, I want to listen, head on over to our social media page. The link is provided. Help us get paid. We want some coins. You like coins?
I like coins and I need a doctor, so help me pay for my doctor bill. Sorry, guys. I did get sick in Chicago.
I'm gonna move here. All right.
It was worth it. It was worth it.
Speaking of the WWE shop, we do have a giveaway, right?
Yeah.
Since we were taken aback by all the followers we got over SummerSlam and now All In, right?
Yeah.
We're over 700.
Over 725.
725 followers. So shout out to everyone that's followed us and like our content. We try to come up with new and different things on our page, I guess, right?
Yeah.
Or I do because I do most of the work.
Right.
Yes or no?
Right. Who got the most viral videos?
I'm
Yeah,
not gonna knock you.
Then
But,
okay then.
yeah, but
We come up with the content together. You just put it together because you like to put
I
the
can't-
ratings together.
I came up with the Bliss MCM post that got quite a few views, didn't it? The Roman thing got quite a few views.
Yeah, it's alright.
The Jeff Hardy thing got quite a few views.
It
So
was
I
alright.
mean, so don't knock me.
No, you trying not me though. Like,
I didn't because I gave you your credit about your viral videos, and I've texted you and told you. I'm like, shout out to you for.
Yeah, but not right now. You just like, because I do all the work.
Well, essentially, I do. It's you get the viral stuff, and I do the extra work.
Okay.
Okay, so yeah, we have a giveaway. Shout out to everybody again that's supporting us. We're giving away a Naomi shirt, any size, and also a Usos jersey, and also a signed Jimmy Uso and Naomi. No, it's not a shirt.
It's an autograph.
Picture, autograph, right?
Picture.
Signed with their signature, autograph, whatever.
Right.
And also a Usos flannel shirt in a size XL, right? So it'll probably be someone separate, right? Maybe it might be two winners, I guess.
Maybe.
So look out for that. It was happening this month. We're going to pick a random, I guess, not a random, maybe two winners or so, or maybe one. We don't know.
If you won in the past, you can't win again.
Yeah, so stop being greedy.
Sorry.
Sorry. maybe
sorry.
in a few months, maybe like when
Give it
things
6 months.
pass.
6
Yeah,
months.
you know. So yeah, look out for that, and let's get into our fantasy.
Yes. How they doing? How they doing in the
Update.
fantasy draft?
So you know what? This past episode of Raw helped a lot of people just because there was so many different appearances throughout the show.
Right.
Just because when they came out in the beginning and ending of the show, 2 points and 5 points here, it seems like a little bit, but it adds up,
It adds up.
right? So this week, the stable that got the most points is Petty Club Worldwide. Joey got. So Joey got a total of 245 points. After that, TK Crew, shout out to TKO, he got 220 points. Knight Riders, Astro Stable, got a total of 167 points.
Mr. Politic himself.
Right. Undisputed Nation of Domination, that's Phil's group, got 142. Next, we have New Generation X with 124 points. Rich Fam, we got some points here. 95. And Evolution, ran by Leah, got a total of 40 points. 48 points, I apologize. Excuse me. 48 points. So on that note, Astro Stable still in the lead with 704. Petty Club Worldwide next up at 551. New Generation X, that's Rob Stable, 353 points. Undisputed. Oh, you know what? Sorry. Did I say TK Crew already? Mm-hmm. Did I say he was third? So it's Knight Riders, Petty Club, TK Crew, then New Generation X. Undisputed Nation of Domination at 303. Rich Fam at 108. And Evolution at 50. So keep it locked. Let's see what happens next week. But congratulations, Joey, for winning this week.
Bullet Club.
All right, Mark. I see we're representing this week too, right?
Definitely, because it was an all-in weekend.
Yes, we got your Young Bucks. I got the man of the weekend, Cody Rhodes. So yeah. Speaking of which, I guess we can start off with the show. Start off a little bit different. Normally it's WWE, but
This week we're gonna start with All In.
that's it. So you want to start off, Mister? I went to Chicago.
Why you do this for? You've been asking me, what is this?
Because it's not Chicago. Let's keep it 100. It wasn't Chicago. But, needless to say,
It's the suburbs of Chicago.
it's not Chicago.
It's the suburbs of Chicago. All right.
Go ahead. Let's get into the show.
So we talking about the fatal 4-way match between Brittany Baker, Madison Ryan, Chelsea Green, and Tessa Blanchard. Shout out to Chelsea Green and Tessa Blanchard. They both liked my story and put it up on their story. So
Ooh, okay. Nice.
yeah.
Good for you.
Thank you.
You could have did it on the mixed tag show, so we could have got some.
I mean,
But you're being selfish.
oh, now I'm selfish because I put everything else on the mixed tag show and I decided to put one thing on mine.
Yeah. Because now they posted in
Anyway.
their stories. So what did you think?
It was a great match. I enjoyed it being there. Again,
He keeps rubbing it in
the
my
ending-
face that you were
the
there.
ending was get used to it. The ending was kind of confusing, but when you go back and look at it, it was,
We had a discussion about it. Me and you were texting
Right.
while you were on your way home, right?
yeah. And when you go back and look at it, you can see what the confusion is. But it made sense in a way. I know you. How did you feel about it?
I thought it was a really, really dope match. I don't know if you noticed it. Of course you noticed, but you saw how Brittany Baker came out to Adam Cole's music, so that
Yep.
was pretty dope. And like a couple of the girls paid homage to their boyfriends.
Yeah, Chelsea
right?
Green did the woo, woo, woo.
Yeah, paid homage to Zack Ryder. And everything was dope, but like you said, the ending had me confused.
Right.
I knew Tessa was going to win just because I guess she's the more known
Right.
name, so it's kind of like someone that's over being over pushed, right? And so she won. But regardless, it was a dope match. I just wish it would have ended a little bit better.
And at the end, they all hugged together.
Yeah, so that was pretty dope. It was a very exciting and historical moment for those women. So, it's a great match. Just the ending was a little,
Another historical moment from All In
Ooh.
is when Cody, I didn't, you can't say the last name. Cody defeated Nick Aldis.
Doesn't he go by Rhodes?
He's not allowed to use it on the shows.
Really?
Yeah, WWE said no.
I read about that. I'm like, I felt like they call him Cody Rhodes.
Nobody calls him Cody Rhodes. They just call him Cody.
Really?
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah, he's not allowed to use it.
Petty WWE.
Yeah, that's why during Y2J's podcast, it was like joking, like, "Oh, we can't say Rhodes.
Right.
Hey, Cody." Like
WW Petty.
Yeah,
Huh?
yeah.
Wow.
But he won the NWA title.
Yes, that was a very surreal moment. And it's funny because yesterday we posted up for WCW Dusty Rhodes win against Ric Flair, and as I was looking at it, there's similarities to the finish, right? So that was pretty cool that he paid homage to his dad, and just the surreal moment of Brandy just celebrating with him, and then the rest of Pharaoh was out there. What did you think when you saw Pharaoh came out there?
I was like, word, he brought the dog out? And he was like mad calm, came outside, came to ringside, brought back, came out with the legends and everything like that, and Brandy's dad. So
Brandy took that bump too. What did you think of that?
Oh, I'm used to Brandy taking bumps at this stage. Like, she been put through tables. Yeah. She done took a V trigger.
Isn't that crazy? Because like
she's a ring announcer,
right? Eden, and now look at her, getting in the mix. So, but that must have been a really dope moment for them to actually experience. And yeah, it was just a very emotional match. You know what's funny too? In the beginning, I don't think you saw it. I don't know if they had like a big screen when you saw it backstage, or I don't know if you watched later on, but you can see like kayfabe was broken for like a split second. Like Cody, like you can see like the emotion in his face, which was I was like, oh, that's like it gave me chills.
When Nick Aldis was coming out, you talking about?
No, it was right before he came out, like backstage.
Backstage,
yeah. Did they show that?
Yeah,
okay, so then
they came out with their trainers type of thing.
Yeah, like so right before he came out on stage, you just like, and I think all wrestlers go through that, just like okay, that those nerves and that rush that comes over them. He saw it in his face, and I thought that gave me goosebumps.
Even after he came out and the crowd, did you see how loud it got for Cody?
Yeah,
like
I mean, he orchestrated this. You know what I mean?
So. And he was at ringside. You could just see his nervousness. Like he was just like mad antsy.
Yeah,
and
very.
Brandy had to grab him by the face. Was like, yo, calm down.
Yeah.
Like.
So that's a pretty cool moment. And now he's the NWA champion. So that would obviously mean he is gonna
defend it
over there as well.
And no, because it's like an independent title to be defended anywhere. So people saying that he's gonna bring relevance to it again. Yeah, because it's been kind of missing.
Absolutely. I mean, we don't really talk about that championship. So obviously now you have some like now there's gonna be a focus on that. So it was just pretty cool, and just again, I thought that was a really, really dope match.
It was.
So I wanted to talk about the Chicago Street Fight match because it was a hot mess, but it was still good. You know what it reminded me of?
What?
The Attitude Era. That was just very, very... Just because the whole storyline, the backdrop of that is about, like,
Right. Him killing off.
Right, and then...
Joey.
Right, and this guy, what's his name? Joey Ryan, about his, like...
Right.
His junk.
Right.
You know what I mean?
And even how Penelope got involved in the match
that was dope.
Like,
her spot she did was pretty
stunner.
Dope. Yeah. She was badass with that. But yeah, it just reminded me very like Attitude Era. And I was like, this is like,
it gave you what you missed.
Yeah. I'm like, this is bad. Not the match was good, but it was just bad. Like the storyline, right? But it was still good. Just like
hilarious.
Yeah, it was just very Attitude Era. Like
I enjoyed the two bumps though that they had when he did the burning hammer on the ladder.
Yeah,
and then he did the rite of passage on the table.
Yeah, off the ladder into the table when he won. Yeah. So that was it was like I said, it was a good match. It was a mess, but sometimes you need that. You can't everything can't be like on point.
Serious and everything.
Exactly. Oh.
You know what else was on point? Kenny Omega versus...
Well, Kenny's always on point.
Pentagon Jr., a.k.a. Penta L0.
L0.
Yeah, because you can't use Pentagon Jr. in promotions. So he had to change his name. Because everyone's looking at the screen like, why they change his name?
Yeah,
it's supposed to be Pentagon Jr.
Yeah.
And it was like, oh, Triple H owns the name. They can't put it on TV. Got it. We'll go with that.
Yeah.
But that was definitely an awesome match between the two.
Mm-hmm.
I know when I was with Gigi, was kind of confused, like, worried about their two different styles, but you couldn't tell like the difference in their styles, and they really meshed together.
And I mean, like when you're Kenny Omega is like the best, right?
One of the best,
or at least what? Well, isn't he always like? Isn't he rated like?
He's rated #1 right now with PWI.
So I mean, technically he is the best, right? So he's just always gonna put on dope matches. My thing with Kenny is I noticed too. I feel like his matches start off slow. Is it just me?
No.
Okay, so
It's by design.
it's by design. Okay, because remember I told you it took me a while to get into Kenny. Like it's something about him I couldn't connect with. But the more that I start watching a lot of indie shows, that it starts off slow and the way it picks up and it's just really intense and there's like that storyline, not storyline, that storytelling in his matches. It was
Played
again
off his injured arm and everything like that.
Yeah. So
had to switch for the one wing angel.
Yeah. So it was another dope match. Another I was thoroughly enjoyed.
But the crazy part is at the end when the lights went out.
Yeah. Did you think something actually happened, or you knew it was probably something?
No. Okay. So what happened was we was in the arena and the lights goes out. So we're like, oh snap, what's happening? So everybody's looking in the crowd, whatever have you.
But did you? What I'm saying, did you feel like you knew it was gonna be like something part of the show? Okay.
Yeah, because then everybody's looking around and you can tell Kenny's in the middle of the ring confused. They made the referee for the next match come out in the darkness, so everybody's focusing on the ring on the stage, not focusing on the ring anymore. And that's when they made the switch with the pentagons. Because everybody's so busy looking at because it's dark, so you just see somebody walking down, so you automatically think somebody's coming out.
Yeah.
And then when the lights come on, as the referee, everybody and then the person gets up and attacks Kenny.
And it is Y2J, Chris Jericho.
And it was Chris Jericho.
So obviously he is hyping up his cruise.
Yeah.
So that should be pretty exciting. So I don't want to say there's controversy with this match, but I guess we'll talk about it in Hot Topics. Right. Marty Scurll versus Okada.
Which was a great match.
It was a good match.
It's great storytelling.
I actually, when I think about in regards to current Bullet Club members, my favorite right now would be Young Bucks, obviously, and Cody and Marty kind of alternate for me. I thoroughly enjoy Marty. I love his character. He's hilarious, and he puts on really, really good matches. Right. So, this was just another one, right?
Yeah, when he hit and the crowd was always behind Marty, which is funny because he's not, underweight. So everybody's yelling 205 and all that stuff, trying to get in his skin. When he hits the power bomb, everybody just explodes like he had a heavyweight move.
Yeah, exactly.
And it's just him and Okada having that great match.
Yeah,
it was.
Did you see when he like spat in Okada's face?
Yeah,
so disrespectful, very villain like.
Yeah,
he's the reason why I want to buy a Bullet Club umbrella.
I got one during this weekend.
Did you get me one?
No. So.
Well, you could have gotten me something since you failed at getting me my jacket.
I mean, I called you. You didn't answer.
Okay, but why didn't you just text me?
If I'm calling you and you're not answering, why would I text you? I'm trying to FaceTime you. I was sleeping.
So
what's the difference of me FaceTiming you and texting you?
I'm confused. What did you call me about?
To show you the jacket to see which one was you looking for. I didn't know which one you was looking for. Was it the Young Bucks or the Bullet Club?
You saw I had Young Bucks, and we talked about this last week.
And I wanted to confirm with you on FaceTime.
You didn't have
so I could see what sizes they have for you.
Did they have any of my sizes?
No.
So it didn't even matter. So you made it seem like, I FaceTime you.
I made my attempt. You can't say I didn't make an attempt.
So you always fail me. I just don't understand.
I always fail you.
So the main event, which was a little confusing, was the 6-man tag team match between Rey Mysterio, Phoenix Bandito, and the Golden Elite.
You said Phoenix Bandito?
I said and.
Oh.
I didn't say it was one person.
I'm sorry.
Don't blame me.
I'm just making sure.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, even in their entrance, it was kind of confusing. So people kind of knew something was up. And was looking at our watches like, they ain't got that much time. Like, what are they going to give us? And we just seen them. They blew through it so fast.
Yeah, they sure did. And I guess we'll talk a little bit more into Hot Topics or what have you. But wait, what was? According to PW Insider, All In was going to. So it was going to go. They were going to close out the show regardless. If if they didn't finish the match, we weren't going to see at least people watching it on TV or pay per view. You weren't going to get the ending of the match. So like you said, they finished Like, I think with
3 seconds.
Seconds to spare, yeah.
3 seconds left. Because as soon as they finish, you look up and they just did the da-da-da. Everyone's like, just in time.
That's crazy. So I'm thinking the reason why they probably made that the main event was because, like, the Bucks are good at that. Like, kind of just being on point.
They talked about it on Chris Jericho's podcast, and they said that they asked people did they want to close, and people was like, nah, there's too much pressure.
I'm thoroughly surprised that Cody, his own show.
I feel like I said, I think Cody just wanted to go on early so he could produce the rest of the show and not to have to worry about his match.
Makes sense.
So that's why his came up like third, and then he's like, all right, I can just produce the rest of the show. He saw pictures of him backstage with the headset on and calling him like you know what I'm saying, like his father would do. So
yeah, so that was. I mean, the match, it was all right. It was just like a fun match.
It's a spot fest.
Yeah, and then obviously the Golden Elite won. So
yeah. I just want to see them again. Just that moment when Rey Mysterio and Ibushi stepped into the ring together, and it was just like thunderous. Like, all right, this is what we came to see.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah, exactly. So how would you rate All In?
A+.
Okay.
A+.
So it looks like the people, I would say A, and it looks like the people said A as well.
The
only reason why I said A+, because again, the main event,
yeah,
I would have liked it somewhere else. 1, 2, and like you said, it was a spot fest. And then the match there was a couple of matches that were just like, all right. It was kind of just like placed in there. They were still good matches, but I just felt like they were better matches. And again, with the women's match and that
finish,
yeah, kind of threw me off. But other than that, it was a phenomenal show. It was a historical event. It went on well, and just to show, look, a non-WWE show killed it. Sold out and killed
11,163, I believe.
Yes, I think Nick tweeted that the other
day.
Yeah. So, I mean,
like
it was a great, like, again, a non-WWE show did their thing, and they have the right to be proud.
Like I said, that's probably the best show I ever been to. Not probably, it is the best show I ever been to. Okay. We got there a little before the show started, and the place was already packed out.
Yeah.
Not a seat open in the entire arena. Yeah. Like everything to the Raptors, sold out.
I mean, shout out to them. That's an amazing feat.
And even after the match was over, and then they did the da-da-da on the screen and everything, nobody moved.
Yeah.
And they just waited to the end and let them have the curtain call and everything. It was just. It felt like a party.
Well, that's what's up, and it's great that you got to experience that.
So I'm ready for Double or Nothing.
Are you really?
Yeah, I'm ready for Double or Nothing. I'll go to that.
Okay, so I guess we're gonna get into WWE stuff now.
Yeah, sure.
If we must.
Go ahead. You can start off with your show.
You start off with Raw.
No, this is your show. Go ahead.
It's not my show. Doesn't matter. You
can
start off Raw and SmackDown.
I don't want to start off Raw. Just Raw is your show.
Go ahead, start.
Why do I have to start off Raw?
Because you any chance you get, you want to, take a dump on Raw. So, go ahead.
Okay, Braun Strowman, Drew McIntyre.
All right, I'll start off Raw because clearly we're gonna be a sourpuss about it.
This is your show. Talk about your show.
Raw
did better than SmackDown this week. So.
Did it really? Did it really?
I think so. A
Okay.
bit. Not that much, a little bit.
So Raw starts off with the Shield. Well, Braun Strowman, Drew McIntyre, and Dolph Ziggler, and the Shield.
Mm-hmm.
I like this was a better opening than last week because, like I mentioned last week, what was the whole point of having Roman come out in a Shield shirt and you're not?
It's not the Shield out.
It's not the Shield, right? They came out like old school, came through the crowd, and there was no talking, no promo. It was just straight fighting, right?
Yeah.
And then obviously the locker room got cleared out, and and they got arrested. I would have loved how I would change that segment though, because I'm talking about throughout the whole show. I would have liked to seen updates at the precinct.
But it was.
You didn't like it? You didn't like this?
No, the storyline was flawed. It's Labor Day. Who's going to tell
Correct.
on Labor Day?
All right, but obviously on that note, we obviously know that this is not reality.
Right.
So I would, because you're making updates via Twitter. Like, I think that's stupid. Remember when Vince got
arrested? We got pictures and everything.
Yeah, we got pictures. I didn't even think we got updates out. Yeah, paint me a picture. Let me see what's going on.
But
the Shield's supposed to be a big thing. Let's have like fake reporters out there trying to see what's going on. Let's make it as authentic as we can, since we obviously on Labor Day we know that the courts are closed and what have you.
I mean, yeah, make it a little bit more believable. But just that whole storyline is just weird to me in general.
Why is it weird?
Because like last week when I said AOP should have backed Braun, and this further proved it because now you have Drew McIntyre and Ziggler win the tag team titles from B Team randomly by taking out the Revival, who deserved the shot in the first place.
I feel bad for them.
Exactly, and then now you put another 2 individuals with the tag team titles.
Well, to their credit though, Drew and Dolph have, since the shakeup occurred, they've been on fire.
They have,
and it was bound to happen. Honestly, I'm actually surprised that they didn't win the tag team title sooner. Yeah,
and they didn't, and that's the thing. So you had Ziggler win the IC title, and then now you had him and Seth have his program. Seth is IC champion right now. You know they're gonna make Ambrose and Seth go against them for the tag team titles. So now you tied up 3 different titles in one storyline. They could have just left.
But when you have dominant factions and stables, right? That's how you show that you're the most dominant, right? Actually, before Roman had got sick and then Dean went down, it looked like that's where they were going with just having all 3 of them have some type of title, whether it was tag team titles, and I think did Roman have the IC?
He had the WWE title, right?
No, last year. I might be getting to
I know what you mean. I think it was
because I know, yeah. Because you remember when he had it for a split second and beat the Miz, and then the Miz eventually won it back.
Right.
And I'm trying to figure out if that's when Dean and Seth still had the tag team titles. But again, if you're a dominant faction, you're gonna have all the titles.
Right. But my thing is that there's a difference between having like 2 titles because it's a faction. They win the singles and a tag, whatever have you. If that was the case, let the IC title go elsewhere. Now you hold all the major titles on the program in one.
Well, we don't know what's gonna happen in the next couple of weeks.
But this is why I said AOP should have won it because Ziggler could have took his IC title and went on to another.
Yeah, but AOP, and I get what you're saying, but Dolph and Drew are hot right now, so it only makes sense that they want their shine as well. So what do? You align yourself with quote unquote the next top guy, which is Braun Strowman. I didn't have an issue with this segment. I liked everything from when the Shield just came out and said nothing and started kicking ass to the locker room spilling out. The only thing that I would change, I would like some real life footage and see what's going on.
Yeah, I didn't.
For me.
Because all you can see on timeline is like, how they get a bell and it's Labor Day? What judge did you find on Labor Day?
And then so for the main event, what I found weird was KO led the pack and attacked the Shield. My thing is, wasn't you just beefing with Braun? Ew. Bless you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I didn't realize it was KO that led the pack.
Yeah, when the heels came out for the main event, KO came running out. That's another thing that I would change. That's stupid. Braun just made you look like a fool, and then you left and whatever, and now you're helping them out.
So what's the storyline of him quitting then?
Yeah, that I wouldn't change, but I would change. But other than that, I actually enjoyed that.
Your girls are back.
You can look, but you can't touch. You didn't get the music for the soundboard.
I was supposed to get their music for the soundboard?
That's it. You should get that in breed mode.
I know I'm supposed to get breed mode. I didn't know I was supposed to get their music.
So, what did you think of the match?
Very sloppy.
I wouldn't say. Well, the only thing that was sloppy was those 2 attempts for the suicide dive, but it was a fun match. I don't think it was really meant to be like a.
I wouldn't have let Bree and Nikki win either.
Why?
It made the Riot Squad look weak. They've been wrestling for every week
yeah.
for the past like how many months, and then the Bella Twins just pop up out of nowhere and then they defeat them.
I hear you.
Like they could have helped. You have a 3-on-2. It made perfect sense for them to lose because they have an extra person advantage.
Yeah, but whatever they're trying to build up, you're gonna keep coughing and sneezing.
Yes, I'm sick.
Okay. I think that it made sense that Ruby wasn't in the match because I feel like, especially if their first match back, you don't want to go against Ruby Riott. That's not someone, you know what I mean?
Right.
They should be facing. I thought it was a fun match. I didn't really think anything of it, like, this whole match is bad. Just those 2 suicide dives that Brie attempted were really bad. And a lot of people were getting on Sarah for the first one because she was late on it. And she was, but I feel like Brie's dive was short too.
Anyway, yeah.
So, I mean, other than that, though, it was a fun match. You know.
Yes. It just goes back to what we was talking about. It's like going backwards.
Yeah, instead of forwards. I agree.
Like,
what about that segment with Ronda? What did you think of that?
what did Ron? Oh yeah, that whole awkwardness between Natalya and the Bellas.
Well, not Natalya, because Natty just left. It was more so the Bellas and Ronda.
Trying to, that's what I meant. But Natalya, because they try to make it seem like Natalya's not good enough for her. They could teach her better, kind of situation.
I didn't get that impression.
Because they was like, yeah, Natalie's cool and everything, but we could teach you this side. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I felt like they're trying to bury Natty a little bit.
I didn't necessarily get that impression. I just felt like what they're trying to do is trying to get on the good graces of Ronda Rousey, because I feel like,
This is set up.
yeah, it's obviously, I don't know, it may be for Nikki or just both or just Nikki. I don't know. But yeah, that's what it's looking at. It was awkward though.
Yeah, that's not the best people to put in that position.
Yeah, so but KO returns. I know you said what was the whole point of him quitting. What did you think of this?
It was random.
Mm-hmm.
I love KO, but it was just like,
Yeah.
Bobby Lashley, why?
You think they're gonna get into a feud?
Yeah,
Okay.
because Bobby already spotted I'm gonna get him on Twitter. So it's like
Yeah.
he should attack both of them if anything.
But what do you do? So KO quits. How do you how do you say what's the reason you came back, or how did you even come back?
Exactly. Like,
Well, I'm asking you again,
how I would
as
book it,
creative, yes.
I would have had him attack both Jinder and Bobby
But why?
and just disappear. Don't even say why yet.
But why? But I'm asking you why.
Just him frustrated with the company. Like, I'm gonna hijack every night
Okay.
until somebody listens to me. So
Okay.
randomly every Monday, I'm gonna pop up, attack your people, and walk back out through the crowd. Like,
Okay.
and until finally Stephanie, Triple H, whoever comes up, like, all right, what do you want?
Yeah.
And he goes, I want the Universal title. I deserve it. I'm tired of being put in these awkward positions, these non-winnable positions. I deserve better.
See, I like that idea. I was thinking more so if the explanation of his return was that Baron and him spoke, and he realizes that Kevin is an asset to the show. So I'll have I don't want to use the word understudy, but kind of like, you work close with me type thing. And then they can go on just on a rampage of kind of like bullying people in general. So I feel like it's kind of similar in a sense, but you just have him
By himself.
and attacking people and then just leave. I feel like, he just has someone to add someone to his posse, Baron Corbin, and they just bully people.
I'm just tired of seeing him with people. Let him do his own thing. Because he's had Chris Jericho. Then he had Sami Zayn. Like, just let him work by himself for a bit and let him be that monster that he needs to be.
What did you
Plus,
think?
Baron Corbin is losing track of Raw right now. He has no control of what's going on.
Yeah.
So he's on his own spiral.
So what did you think of Raw? Like, how would you rate it?
Like a C.
I give it a B minus.
That's what the people gave it. The people gave it the B.
There you go. Me and the people are on point.
Yeah, okay.
We didn't talk about HBK or Undertaker, but we'll get into that in a bit, right?
Yeah, we can talk about that a little bit later.
All right, so let's get
My
into
guys.
SmackDown Live. I'll start off the show.
Nope, this is my show. All right?
Does it say blue on the show?
It is color blue.
Because
it's the blue brand. Everybody know I am SmackDown Live in this show. You're Raw. Just keep it that way.
Okay.
All right?
Okay. So for the opposite day episode, how come you didn't do Raw?
Because I don't like Raw.
So I'm
say-
confused if someone wants to work for a company, you can't like or dislike something. You
So
just got to do something.
Almas and Daniel Bryan had their rematch.
He tried to play me. Oh, okay.
And, of course, Maurice and Mr. Miz interrupts the whole thing.
Mr. Mizanin?
Yeah.
Okay.
Daniel Bryan picks up the win. And then as Zelina's trying to help
So what did you
The
set up
recap.
yes.
The recap thing.
See?
I got you.
Okay.
You did a recap earlier. I let you rock.
I didn't recap
Yes, you
anything.
did.
No, I didn't.
Yes, you did.
No, I didn't.
Well, rewind the
What
tape.
did I recap? I didn't all I said for the Shield, all I said was
You recapped.
all I said
It
who
was all
started
good.
off. I said who started off the show, but then I asked you, what did you think of the segment? I didn't recap it.
Okay, we'll rewind the tape. Anyway,
Every time people watch this show, you say things that just like, what is he
Same
talking
with
about?
you.
No one's ever said that.
I've seen it.
No, you
Anyway,
don't.
yes, I have.
No, you don't.
I'll show it to you.
When we'll watch the episode tomorrow
Yeah.
and see.
Okay. So, what did you think of the segment?
What do you think of the segment?
I asked you. This is my show.
So I thought it was what it was. I think the main event was a little bit better. I'm just confused on now what's Zelina and Andrade's role in this. Obviously, because there's the match in Hell in a Cell, not in actually Hell in a Cell, but at the pay-per-view
Right.
with Daniel, Bree, and Miz and Maurice. So I'm just trying to figure out what role does Andrade and Zelina play. But I love that they're getting more and more, attention, especially again Zelina, especially from when in NXT she was just the mouthpiece, and now she's actually getting involved more and more. I don't know if this is leading to a match or what. I know maybe next week, right? Because
It might be the warm up for them.
what do you mean?
Like it's a warm up for Bree and Daniel Bryan to face against Almas and Zelina.
Because then I'm thinking maybe next week we might see like a whole, what is it, not a 6-man, maybe what is it? Like, because I'm thinking now you kind of have Carmella and R-Truth lingering in this storyline too, obviously with this main event and Carmella backing him. So I just feel like maybe next week they'll have
a 6 mixed tag match.
Yeah. Well, there's already 6 people there, so like an 8 mixed.
Yeah.
But that's too much. That's a little chaotic.
They probably have R-Truth and Dan Bryan tag team against.
Where does R-Truth go from here? Do you think R-Truth and Ty Dillinger might have a feud or tag team? Like what's going on with them?
I don't know. To be honest
Well,
with
what
you.
would you do?
Ty, I would make Ty go heel eventually. Ty needs something refreshing. R-Truth, let him do R-Truth, what he's been doing.
He's been pretty funny with this whole Carmella thing, so
Yeah.
I like it. And
Now they're mixed tag partners is going to be hilarious.
yeah, in the mixed match challenge. Yeah, I agree. I think Ty should go here. I don't really understand why he's kind of like just following Truth around. I think that's a little.
That's his mentor.
Is that what it is?
Yeah, it's like his mentor. Ty is trying to keep him sane and trying to get him to see, like, but R-Truth is R-Truth.
Yeah, I mean, well, R-Truth, there's a method to his madness, right? Because that's how he got into the main event this past week's show. So I guess he knows what he's doing.
By facing the other Carmella's husband.
Yes, exactly. So finally, Naomi has a partner. Aha. So they bring back the Empress of Tomorrow because, she's been in dark matches for the past few weeks. We just don't know what happened to Asuka. But she came out and held the Naomi against the Iconics. What do you think about that? Are they going to use them as a tag team or like another tag team? So since
I don't see it.
You don't see it?
No.
Okay.
I don't see why they would put these two together against the Iconics.
Yeah.
I don't get it. Like, I'm so disappointed in SmackDown this week.
Oh, this is my show. Oh,
It is my show. I'm gonna ride to my show. I'm gonna ride with my show.
Mm-hmm.
But I just didn't get the whole pairing of
I don't get the pairing either.
Naomi and Asuka.
I'm glad that we get to see Asuka on the show just because we haven't seen her. And then Naomi, we didn't see her for quite a few weeks, so now she has something going on.
She has a losing streak going on until she won that night.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Yeah. So, but we hadn't seen her for a while, also. So, yeah, I don't know. We'll see where this is going. I'm thinking it's probably gonna be part of the tag team, perhaps title picture. No, is this even happening? I don't know. Like,
we'll get into that. I think it's in a hot topics kind of situation.
you know what we should get into? I completely forgot.
What?
Another giveaway. Do you have a noise for that?
Aha. No. I have.
There was something like a loud boom. I like that. Boom. We're giving. If pay attention to the show, you watch or listen, we're giving away another shirt, right?
Right now.
Right now. So obviously All In was a very big event, right?
Yep.
So we want to give away one of these pro wrestling t-shirts, whether it's All In or Bullet Club. Everybody's part of Bullet Club, right? So we want to give away another shirt. So what are the rules?
All you have to do is remember this time right now. Comment.
Right when they said
When I said now.
now.
That time
Okay.
right there.
Okay.
Comment and like this video. If you're listening to us, head over to our YouTube, and there's your chance to win a free pro wrestling
So
tees
where are they
shirt from us.
commenting at?
The comment section in the YouTube.
What if they comment on Instagram? Can they do that?
No, just keep it YouTube.
Just keep it YouTube?
Yep, everything YouTube.
Okay.
And
Okay.
just DM us the time. That's when they go to Instagram.
Okay.
DM us the time.
You're making them do some work.
It takes like 30 seconds.
Okay. So yeah, if you're a Bullet Club fan or a big fan of this past weekend with All In, this is your chance to win a shirt from us.
Like it, comment, take the time, DM it.
Boom. So there you go. So let's get back into kind of the main event, but not so much about the main event, but going back to R-Truth and that whole thing.
Miz.
Yeah. Not Miz, but Ty Dillinger. What do you think? Carmella, that's what I wanted to talk about. Is she a face now?
She's a tweener.
You think she's a tweener?
She's gonna be a tweener.
Okay.
Because she's tagging with R-Truth, so now she has to be like in between.
Yeah, well, I mean, she tagged when she did the mixed match with Big E. He was a face, so it was like a tweener thing, right?
Yeah.
What do you rate this SmackDown?
I give it like a C.
C?
What do you give it?
I give it a C plus, kind of like what
The people said.
yeah. C plus, B minus, maybe more so C plus.
You know I'm harsh on my own. I'm harsh on them.
Yeah, whatever, I guess.
Tough love.
Tough love. So Throwback Thursday question debate. Undertaker. We saw actually Shawn Michaels come out and hype up this match between Undertaker and Triple H, right at the Super Shakedown. That's what it's called.
Yeah.
Okay. And then Undertaker came out obviously, and they had a little moment back to back,
So good
going back
promo.
and forth.
Such a great promo.
It was cool for what it's worth. A lot of people said they were shook. They were excited. For me, I was just like, eh.
Nah, that promo was fire.
I was like, eh.
That promo was fire.
I was like, eh.
That's because you don't like Shawn Michaels.
I didn't tell you I didn't like Shawn Michaels. I said I'm not the biggest Shawn Michaels fan, but I'm a huge Undertaker fan. My whole thing is, why do we always bring back Shawn Michaels to hype up a Triple H match? I just feel like they always do that. I don't see the point. This has nothing to do with Shawn Michaels.
The same way they do the same thing with Shawn Michaels with Triple H.
Correct. Why though?
Because they're best friends and
So
everybody
you don't
knows
need-
that.
okay.
They're DX. That will never be forgotten. Like
No one's saying that though.
That's always hand in hand. So
No, Triple H has his own battles. Shawn Michaels have had his own battles. Undertaker has his own battles. Besides that,
who's more to defend you and talk about you than your best friend? So if you had a match, I'd be out there supporting you.
I don't think you would be, but okay.
I'll have you back with tag team
So
partners, tag team champions.
So the question at hand is, should Shawn Michaels and Undertaker have one more match?
Yes.
T, you're the problem. The reason why
Oh my
the product
God.
is not that great. But
Oh
go ahead. Why
my
do you think that they should have another match?
It's an awesome swan song to me to have Shawn Michaels to come out of retirement for his one night only, one match only, to retire The Undertaker, who retired him. I don't
Okay.
see the big deal about
So
that.
Shawn Michaels hasn't had a match since the last time they faced each other at WrestleMania.
Right?
Right? We saw the story at the past two WrestleManias, right? They were classic matches, and that's how I want to remember it, as classic matches. Undertaker hasn't really put on great matches in years, and I feel like this would be a mess, to be honest with you.
I don't think so. Shawn Michaels always know how to bring out the best out of Undertaker.
Shawn Michaels is quite a few years older.
I'm telling you, he doesn't miss a step. Just like how the first time he left for 4 years and he came back
He was
better.
much younger.
He came back better than when he left. I feel like he could do the same thing again.
He was much younger, though.
I feel like he could do the same thing over and over again.
I don't know. This is the reason why it goes back to the constant conversation. WWE doesn't know how to create new superstars or keep them at the main event level. this is just another roadblock for this is just part-timers or someone who's retired, Hall of Famers, just taking a spot that could go to someone else.
But Taker's gonna have a match regardless, and if he wants Shawn Michaels to retire him,
what's
the issue?
Regardless of Undertaker having a match again, I've seen enough of Undertaker. I really have. Yes, I get excited when you hear the gong, but
that's my point. This is
correct.
His final
but
match.
after that, I'm like, okay.
But this is his final match. If he wants this final
this his final match?
This would be his final match. I've been saying this. This is his farewell tour. This is why he's been doing random matches in between. This is his farewell tour, and I feel like next WrestleMania is it. That's it. And if he wants Shawn Michaels to retire him, who are we to say no?
Then what was the whole point of Roman Reigns and Undertaker facing each other?
Just put Roman over, which he did. He did his job.
But that is stupid. Because the whole point was
it wasn't a
let him
retired
retire.
match.
We
thought it was. We thought it was.
Okay, but that was what the storyline essentially was. So now it comes off as, are you making faces? Like that's the whole he put his hat and his jacket in the middle of the ring.
So you're saying that the storyline was surrounded by him retiring by Roman?
That's what we thought it was.
No, it was passing of the torch. There's a difference. If he passes the torch,
why would Taker pass him the torch? The person that would pass him the torch would be John Cena, which was essentially that's what we got.
Because if that was the case, then why he's using "It's My Yard" now? That's him passing the torch.
Why would Taker be passing the torch to Roman?
Because before Taker was saying "It's my yard," and then he passed the torch
but
to
Taker
Roman.
wasn't the face of the company. The passing of the torch is the face of the company.
Not only the face of the company. It's not only the face of the company.
Bro,
It's a legend. It's a legend. This is he always said, "This is my yard." Whether it's John Cena was the face of the company, whatever it may be. Backstage,
Taker was the
leader.
This is just
and now Taker's like he gave it to him. That's why he says my yard now. That's the passing of the torch. No,
this is just another scenario of WWE not getting their storylines in order and just okay. Let's see if we can push Undertaker more and get some more hype and money around this. That's all. That's what it is. These part-timers, these Hall of Famers, I don't want to see it. We saw already. We saw two classic battles at WrestleMania. Those were two of the greatest matches I've ever seen in regards to WrestleMania. Put it to bed. That's it. It was a cute standoff between them. Put it to bed. Triple H and him. This is the final one. That's it.
Again, I feel like this is a good way. This is the only way that Shawn Michaels could come back and have one more match, which everybody's been asking for, is against Taker and retire him. I'm not mad about that.
If anything, I would. For that matter, it should be Triple H versus Shawn Michaels then.
Why? Triple H is not the one that's retiring. Taker is.
Yeah, but wouldn't your last final match be against your best friend?
Well, he's not getting that option. It was given to Taker. Triple H is fine with it.
But that's what I'm saying. This doesn't make sense to do Undertaker and Shawn Michaels when we already had that match.
To me, that was always the best rivalry. Not the best rivalry, but that was their own rivalry.
Oh, I was about to say, you're bugging now.
Their own rivalry.
Okay, so hot topics?
Sure. We'll agree to disagree, as always. Let's talk about Big Cass. I heard he was talking with Booker T this past week, no?
Yeah, apparently he asked why he got fired from the WWE, and basically said he was just making a lot of mistakes, yep. And that, and it was not only that was he making a lot of mistakes, but it was in a very short period of time.
Yep.
Booker T said basically asked him, were they right for firing him? And he agreed and said, yeah, I would have fired me if that was the case. And obviously his goal is to get back into the WWE. Do you know his name actually is now, he goes by Big C?
Oh, he didn't like Big Kaz?
No, not Big Kaz.
So he could tag team with Taz?
Really? No. Yeah, so his name is Big C now. So yeah.
Like I said, I already knew the writing was on the wall with him when I heard the stuff he was doing backstage, and yeah, it wasn't good for him. But you know what else happens backstage? Doesn't always stay the same. Becky Lynch is supposed to be a heel, but the crowd is not taking into it. So now the people they're saying, all right, we're just gonna let her be, and just let it be best friend versus best friend, and let the crowd choose who they want to cheer for.
Exactly, which I agree with. Again, Becky's always been popular, right, and we were all wanting Becky to just kind of just stand up for herself, or like, when is Becky's turn? And again, it goes back to the conversation we had last week and just a couple of weeks in general. Yes, Charlotte's popular, but how? Like, I think the WWE. Say it again.
I think it's starting to turn.
Not even so much that it's turning, but for the simple fact that they think someone is so popular. and you push that person down our throats, and that's not the case, right? Because again, it goes back to what I said last week. If you look at her merchandise, right, she doesn't get that many like shirts and what have you, and stuff to obviously sell in the shop, right? Because you give that to people who actually sell,
people you're confident in.
Yeah, you're confident in regards to selling. You know, we see that you never really see that many Charlotte shirts or what have you in the crowd. So, so.
Like I said, the crowd's going to cheer for Becky in this situation because she's the underdog. She's the one that's
She's the underdog, and
she's always getting undercut. She's always like, even in 4 Horsewomen, she's always named last. Like, it's just one of those things. Like, all right,
She was the only one that didn't win an NXT Women's Champion.
Exactly. Like, it's just one of those things. Like, all right, I'm tired of playing second fiddle to everybody.
Yeah. What did you think of the promo though? I felt like Charlotte struggled a little bit.
Yeah, I think I don't want them to overdo it every week. You know what I mean? Like, let it be some kind of interaction. It doesn't always have to be like somebody cutting a promo on the other person about how mad they are. Let it happen naturally. Like, say Becky Lynch is having a match, all of a sudden Charlotte comes out and attack her, or vice versa. It doesn't have to be centered around them talking back and forth to each other. Yeah,
well, I mean, this was the first segment that it happened, so I don't think it'll happen again. But I just felt like Charlotte kind of struggled in the sense. It reminded me of Charlotte when they first came up to the main roster and Charlotte was a face. That's what it reminded me of. Because as a heel, she was just very dominant, right? She was very good. But this was just that kind of like awkwardness for me. But Becky, just the facial expressions, and I was just super for it.
There's truth behind Becky. That's why
it is. Anytime there's truth behind something, it always makes a storyline just a little bit better. So we'll see. I'm glad that there's not actually a heel face dynamic.
Just let them rock.
Just let them rock and see what results you get out of that.
Let's go Becky.
Exactly, I agree. Okay, so with that said, we're keeping it with the women.
Right.
According to Dave Mesler,
Uncle Dave,
the truth behind Vince McMahon reaching out to AJ Lee for Evolution, there is no truth behind it. So, and obviously, we mentioned this last week, it'd be kind of hard, obviously, with her husband being CM Punk and who has a current lawsuit going on.
Right. Well,
with the WWE doctor.
The lawsuit was over.
Well, yeah, that's what I meant. Yeah, but then
having that history of it.
Yeah, that, with the lawsuit and then the fact that there's just tension between her husband and the company, which is unfortunate.
Yeah, it is, because she's really to be honest with you, I feel like she's the front runner when it comes to this whole Evolution thing happening. Paige came up and assisted with it. Unfortunately, AJ exited out earlier than wanted to. Yeah. But I would love to see AJ in this current climate without this whole step back they're taking right now towards Evolution.
Yeah, but I would love to see it. And, I mean, I know it's wishful thinking, but who knows? Maybe we get a surprise. Right. We always say that with a lot of superstars.
Never say never.
Right.
If you ever see CM Punk, you be like, never say never.
That's very true. It's very true, especially with the whole UFC being kind of.
Yeah.
So.
You know who else never say never with Nif? Melina. How do you think about Naomi versus Melina as WWE's teasing it?
So I keep mentioning this a lot. I'm not liking how Evolution is turning out, and I mentioned this when they first announced Evolution and we were discussing it. Yeah. I told you I didn't want to see the legends come back and participate. Maybe if they want to have them participate in like backstage segments and what have you, but I didn't want to see them have matches. Not because I don't think they'll do well, but just because of this. These are random pairings.
Right.
This Evolution should be a thing where you're, letting storylines grow and continue, right? There's really not much storylines going into Evolution. You know, and I understand that it's October and they kind of start building feuds and storylines in September, but I mean, well, actually, yeah, we're in September, so you know what I mean?
And just to tie in the next two topics, because this is all Evolution talk, like you said, there's probably some building between Maurice and Brie Bella.
There's a storyline.
There's a storyline behind that,
right?
But then when you go to the next one, it's like Lita versus Mickie James. It's like, why?
Why? There's literally no storyline between the two.
If you didn't want to pair up Trish Stratus with anybody new, and you wanted to do something, Mickie James made the most sense in my opinion. It would have
been exactly, or even Lita, right? Because
Lita, bring that back for one night.
Like the two quote unquote popular women superstars facing off one more time, and then again Mickie James and Trish that history. You know, so I'm not liking how
Evolution is
the card
it's
is turning
stacking
out.
right
Yeah.
now. It's not very appeasing.
Yeah, I mean, it'll be
me.
surreal once the event is actually happening when you
Right.
see all the legends and the music
Right.
and
but
what have you. But
then that'll just last for that music, and then when the match starts, it's like, okay, what are we doing?
yeah, exactly.
And especially if they're trying to plan to do like women titles and stuff like that,
Yeah.
I don't know.
Well, we're keeping it to Evolution. Apparently, with this pay per view, it hasn't sold out yet, and they're actually surprised that since it's in the New York market, it hasn't sold out. It's on pace, but it's not there yet. Do you think it has a lot to do with the card, or is it that women's wrestling hasn't really taken off like we really think it has, or like what do you think?
It's the card. To
You
be
think
honest,
it's
with
the
you. It's the card. Because to be honest with you, there's a lot of divas, quote unquote, that are being added to this evolution, and it's not very appeasing to the audience, in my opinion. Because it's like, who wants to see Alexa Bliss versus Trish Stratus?
Yeah.
Who wants to see Nikki Bella versus Ronda Rousey? Who wants to see Maurice versus
Some
Brie
people do.
Bella? You know what I'm saying? It's some, but it's not enough. Like,
Yeah.
if this was supposed to be the evolution
Yeah.
of women wrestling,
Yeah.
you would put the matches that people want to see happen.
Exactly. I agree. I think it's a combination of both, though. Just because, like, yeah, I see on my Twitter and just a lot of my friends, you're for women's wrestling, I'm for women's wrestling. But you still see a lot of sexist comments when you, like, obviously you go
Yeah.
on groups, or even just if you just browse through Twitter, through tweets and what have you, and comments on Instagram. There's people that still refer, like guys that still refer to the women as divas.
Right.
You know what I mean? Or who wants to see this and blah, blah, blah. You know, so I think it's just a combination of both. One, the card is not looking like
It's
how
not.
what we thought it could have potentially have
Right.
been. And the fact that we don't necessarily think women's wrestling is not as big as we think it is. So, but regardless, it's on pace to sell out. So regardless, they're gonna still get a sold out show. So at this point, I guess it doesn't really matter. I just hope that doesn't affect the following.
Future.
Exactly.
I hope they learn from their mistakes. Because what I learned, I really hope. Because what I learned from All In is that, and people say that All In was successful because it was matches that people wanted to see. It was advanced storylines from being the elite that was happening. Like people bought into it.
Yeah.
It was a storyline behind it. But when you do stuff like Evolution and you don't have a storyline going into it,
Yeah.
how am I supposed to get excited?
And then going back to the whole All In thing, I felt like after such a historic weekend, this was for the WWE to step up,
And they didn't.
and they didn't.
And I know they was watching it because I already told you they try to sabotage the show in multiple ways.
Yeah. And this was a time for, you know what? They did all of this. We got to step up writing and creative and it was, some of the segments were good, but a lot of segments were silly and was just like, okay, what are we still doing with this and what have you? And they didn't step it up. And again, the gap is getting closer and closer.
Yeah.
Right? And I'm here for it just because I hope like when it gets so close that you're forced to do something about it and make changes. But I don't know. Going back to the women real quick, I think this is the last topic about them. Apparently that we're going to get more titles, which we've been calling for, right?
Right.
I don't know if it's happening at Evolution or sometime this year or early next year, but apparently there's supposed to be a couple more titles coming in, similar to the Intercontinental Championship and the United States Championship. Right? What do you think?
Where are you putting all of this?
I'm here for it just for the simple fact that if we're gonna keep giving the titles to Ronda Rousey and Charlotte Flair and Alexa Bliss, great. Then it gives the women for other titles to fight for. But where are we putting this? Yeah. Well, I'm here for it. As long as you can figure it out, I'm here for it.
At this point, you might as well just have one set of titles for both brands, in my opinion. You can't have.
Oh, absolutely, yeah.
You gotta be one title for both brands.
Well, yeah. So, like,
it.
one brand would have like the U.S. title, and then the other brand would have the IC title.
And what about the tag?
2 tag teams.
I don't know. They have enough of that.
Well, they do.
But they barely even make. I'm not saying they don't have enough, but they don't barely make enough time for it now.
Well, and that's what I mean. Like, again, I'm here for more titles, but you have to make time for it.
Like
that's why I was saying last week maybe if SmackDown went to a third hour, this is different things that you can add. Or maybe they should consider having the women have their own show. At first, I was like, I don't think they should have their own show.
Don't
but
do it. You know, it's gonna end up like 205 Live. I'm sorry.
You think so? But we're more interested in women wrestling.
Yeah, but
more so than 205. We've never been in. Like, you can't tell me when the cruiserweights came back, we were like, oh, I can't wait to see cruiserweights. But every week we're excited to see women.
Yeah, but the way they've been handling outside of NXT,
right?
But it never reaches the potential that it should have.
Well, but 205 Live is, you said Triple H has more of a hand in it, right? I feel like the women, if they had a women's show, he would definitely be more hands-on on that. So you never know. So you, on top of that, we're more interested in seeing the women wrestle than 205, the cruiserweights. And if Triple H is putting his hand into that, I think that's I
have no confidence right now in terms of like the
product.
Yeah.
I mean, I agree, but like, again,
we get our hopes up so much. It's just like, it's kind of like with my Knicks. Like, I get my hopes up so much about the Knicks, and it's just now
I don't even want to talk about
exactly.
that.
Now I'm just like, whatever happens, man.
So I know you won't get your hopes up for this, but WWE plans to give Roman Reigns a lengthy title reign, and his next opponent looks like it might be just Drew McIntyre, which goes back to them winning the tag team titles.
Why?
And what do you mean? Why?
That's what I'm saying. You say go back to them winning.
Well, I mean, this is why everything is coming together in regards to storylines.
Right.
There's going to be someone that comes
out of it,
right? So I know you're not happy about Reigns having a long title reign.
I'm not. I care less about that. I'm more so like, again, now you have 3 titles wrapped up in one storyline. When one of those titles or 2 of those titles could have been elsewhere for a little bit. I already knew Drew McIntyre had been the next contender.
You've been saying that for a while.
Like, that's why it made sense for Ziggler to have the IC title. That's why I meant, like, they could have been outside doing whatever they're doing, AOP and Braun, whatever they're doing. After they're finished with that, circle back around and then create that storyline again. But who am I?
Well, we're not getting Kevin Owens and Paul Heyman storylines.
Thank God.
So there's Dave Mesler also mentioned that there's no truth to that. So I know you're very happy about that. I'm happy about that. Kevin Owens doesn't need a mouthpiece.
He doesn't.
But
he do need a direction, and I wish they would find one for him quick.
Yeah, he definitely needs some type of direction. Velveteen Dream is directed somewhere, right? You like how I kind of did that? Did that work a little bit?
Yeah, a little bit.
Okay. Well, he is going to have a couple of matches at Evolve against Austin Theory and Darby Allin.
Allin.
Yeah. So at upcoming Evolve events in Maryland and New York. So
he's very known in the Maryland area to begin with, so it makes sense for that. And in New York, I just think that they just want to bring him out and season him up a little bit.
So WWE releases their top 10 greatest factions of all time, and this caused a little uproar, stirring the pot.
Yeah, because why do you have the Shield as number 1?
Well, not even the fact that you have the Shield number 1. Well, let me go over the list real quick. At 10 was Undisputed Era, 9 was Freebirds, 8 was Nexus, 7 was Heart Foundation, 6 New Day, 5 Evolution, 4 NWO, 3 DX, 2 Four Horsemen, and number 1 the Shield. First of all, when I think of factions, I think of a large group of people. Right? So I'm kind of confused as to why the Shield would be considered that, and also New Day, right? Because we never really considered New Day as a faction or a stable, just a tag team. Same thing with the Shield. I consider, like, the Heart Foundation and Nexus. Remember even when they had the Core?
Yeah.
Nation of Domination. That's a crime that they're not on there.
Exactly.
Undisputed. As much as I love Undisputed Era, it's too exactly. They're too early for that.
Mystery, Darkness, like the corporate ministry, like the corporation by itself.
The corporation.
Like, there's so many other factions that you could add
even
to
the
this
Authority
list.
At one point.
The Authority,
right. So I don't know if this is WWE just trying to push their agenda with the Shield or what, but there is no reason why NWO, which actually changed the face of wrestling,
it's number 4. They should be number 1.
It should be. You think they should be number 1?
Number 1. That's the very main reason why the state of wrestling changed was NWO.
I would say that I probably put DX as 2.
Yeah.
Because
they followed up.
Exactly. you have to have the Nation of Domination there. You know, this is the reason how The Rock was able to become The Rock.
Exactly.
And I found it funny, like with Nexus, they had Wade Barrett's picture, you know,
Right.
with that when he was there, I guess, quote unquote, the leader, and not CM Punk, which I thought that was a crime too. So, but yeah, new season of the Mixed Match Challenge. Are you excited for that?
Not really. I think it's too soon.
I don't know if, yeah, I guess maybe it is too soon. And the teams are weird. You have the returning teams of Braun Strowman and Alexa Bliss, Jimmy Uso and Naomi, Rusev and Lana, The Miz and Asuka, and you have Finn Balor and Bayley this time, Carmella and R-Truth. Who else? Jinder Mahal and Alicia Fox, Kevin Owens and Natalya, Team Canada, AJ Styles and Charlotte Flair, and Sasha Banks and Bobby Lashley. Sasha Banks and Bob.
You like calling him Bob, don't you?
I love that Roman called him Bob. It's such a Bob. No, I don't know, but at least it helps our fantasy draft. They get some points, right?
I guess. I mean,
Clearly you don't care.
So according to Dave Meltzer, there was some confusion about the 6-man tag. It was supposed to main event. That they were cut short. They're supposed to be 28 minutes, but they only end up with 12. There was reports that Marty Scurll took a longer time than needed to be. And there was a time constraint,
Right.
to 11 o'clock, which is basic time. I know Marty's at the bottom, but I'm just gonna tie this in. They noted that Cody and Omega came out to end, what have you, and then Marty wasn't there. Marty went out and said he was in the shower. His match was before then, and it was a 12-minute match.
Well, that explains his absence.
Yeah, like that explains it to me, because even when I was there, they was like, "Hey, where's Marty?" When they was calling out their families and stuff like that. So I didn't think Marty really caught heat for that as much as people was making it out to be. Also, he said that his match was only over a minute, and that it was just the booking of the show that went over time, which I believe, because MJF versus Matt Cross was not supposed to be on the card, and they added it last minute, and that was like a 12-minute match.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
can't really put it on them. But yeah, the 6-man tag was supposed to main event. They were supposed to have more time than that, but I think they added that first match, just kind of threw them off. So leave Marty alone, guys. It wasn't his fault or Okada.
Yeah, but the show definitely ended at 11 p.m. Eastern. Couldn't go over due to pay-per-view time constraints. They don't got that WWE
Nah, they don't got
pull
that,
yet.
that WWE network. Nah.
Well, not even that. They just don't got that pull yet to be going over. But listen, as successful as was,
They finished with 3 seconds left.
Not only, but what I was just saying in general, how successful it was, now it makes you look better for the next pay-per-view.
Right.
Like, hey, well, maybe we can give you a couple more minutes to go, to do what you got to do.
Chris Jericho had his wild way in.
Yeah.
He had a show in Kansas that night, and
No, Little Rock. He had a show. He performed in Little Rock, Arkansas.
It was Little Rock, Arkansas? I heard it was Kansas, but...
No, he flew to another show to Kansas. It says it's right here.
Yeah, so he had to get a private jet to Chicago, head on in.
It's Little Rock, Arkansas, right? I don't want people to think like my geography is off, right?
It is in Little Rock, Arkansas.
You wouldn't know. I don't know why I would ask you.
Oh, my God.
I don't know why I would ask you. You wouldn't know.
Why wouldn't I know?
Right. Little Rock,
Why wouldn't
Arkansas.
I know that? Anyway.
I don't know. You don't know anything about Arkansas.
Anyway, so he performed, flew in.
I don't either.
In between, and then head right back out to Kansas right after his show. And it was just, he performed with his makeup on, with his Pentagon makeup on.
That is the greatest of all time. And speaking of greatest of all time, this man is going to appear on Impact Wrestling. Will you watch it now?
No.
Okay. So, as you know, since you were at the show, Cody Rhodes and Kenny Omega addressed the audience and about the future of Bullet Club.
Bullet Club is fine.
Bullet Club is fine. So that leaves us with our final debate question, because I know we probably went a little crazy, right?
Which Bullet Club member should make the jump to WWE, and why?
None.
None?
None.
Yeah, none. I wouldn't touch.
I wanted you to disagree or something.
I can't disagree. I feel like anybody that goes to WWE is gonna be wasted. Just like a lot of other people.
So there's two things that'll happen. Either, like you said, it will get wasted or it will get too much. For example, Young Buck, Kenny Omega, that we're going to get sick of them. And they're going to put them in stupid storylines and feuds. And they're gonna get limited. So like the way their promo skills, especially Kenny's, because at first I thought he had no personality, but like again, the more I watched, I realized he has a whole lot of personality, especially after that New Day and the Elite battle,
Right.
the video game thing. They would get limited, right? So I just feel like with WWE writing, they'll turn a really, really good thing into a really, really bad thing, and I don't want to see that.
Yeah, no. I mean, there's rumors that Marty Scurll is next to go over to NXT because of his relationship with William Regal and such, so on and so forth.
Yeah.
But I don't really want to see any of those guys.
And then he's just gonna end up on 205 Live.
Yeah,
and that's not a talent that gets wasted. Yeah, at 205 Live. So
hopefully these reports are not what it really is.
Yeah. So, but. On that note, that's our show.
Yep. If you haven't already, follow us on Twitter, Instagram at The Mixed Tag Show, or you can follow us on our personal at
Miss Jenna Baby, BAYBEE,
or at Blue Magic Grind, spelled how it sound. Make sure you hit up those links for the WE shops in the bio below on the YouTube or in our bios on Instagram and Twitter.
And look out for our giveaways. We'll be giving out our, little prizes soon, right?
Right.
Sometime this month. Okay.
And on that note.
Boom. Ah.
It's the Mixed Tag Show.
Mixed Tag Show.
With Jenna.
And blue.